Hey everybody, I am Julie Matheny. I am a speech pathologist and IBCLC lactation consultant, and I love to do pump reviews because I get asked a lot about products that are on the market. So I'm always trying to stay abreast of what's available out there. So I just got my hands on the Lansino Thrive 2-in-1, meaning that it has both the cups and the flanges. I'm not paid for by Lansino to promote this product. I just want to show you how to set it up, use it, and review it, okay? Because I want to save you time and monies on finding that right breast pump for you and your needs. So this is the Lansino Thrive. We're going to open it up. Fun fact, Lansino as a company was started by a breastfeeding mom. Lansino is a fun derivative of lanolin, which is one of their most popular products, which is made from sheep's wool. Lansino sources their lanolin from New Zealand, from the sheep of New Zealand. So yes, if you have a wool allergy, you might be allergic to lanolin. And then that company, Lansino, was sold to a Japanese company called Pigeon in 2004. And if you follow me for a while, you know that I really like Pigeon's bottles. Well, Pigeon and Lansino are the same company. They've been bought out, which is why the Lansino bottles look very similar in shape and design to the Pigeon bottles, and why they're compatible to each other. They just maintained slightly different manufacturing. So Pigeon bottles are now manufactured in China. There you go. So there's your fun fact of the day. So this is the Lansino Thrive 2-in-1 breast pump, and you can see this is tiny. I mean, this is no bigger than the size of a smartphone. It's actually a little smaller than my phone. Okay, so that's the pump right out of the box. When you pull the other parts out, you're going to have all kinds of pieces and parts. This is going to connect to your flange and your bottle and your pump. It has a duckbill membrane. Remember, these come off for cleaning, so that goes in there. They will have Lansino. They have larger flanges, and they're like, we have great flange options. No, you don't. They come with, this one is a 24, and then you can order smaller sizes, inserts. You can order 15, 17, 19 inserts. This one is going to have a couple different sizes right out of the box. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, these are 24s. And then you're going to have two 24s and your full setup. Okay, so you're going to have a pair because you got a pair of boobies. We're going to pull this box out. So there's your flange setup. You could put your insert in there. Let me see if my other flanges are compatible with this while I'm sitting here, because you know I love a good Lactech. So now here's the advantage of this pump. You can fit a Lactech, which means you can fit Pump and Pals or other aftermarket flanges on that. So that is a bonus, because in the past, Lansino has made 25 millimeter flanges that are not compatible with other flanges aftermarket, which is a pain in the butt when you're trying to find the right size. Okay, so box in the bottom is going to have the bottle cap. It's going to have the bottle. Here's the bottle. Chunky bottle. Okay, that's going to screw onto there. And then the nice thing about this is it is going to come with a collection cup, and it does have a silicone back. It does look like it's complicated, okay, just like some of my relationships. They can be complicated. You're going to have this silicone piece, which is going to come apart from the cup. It's going to have this tap on the top to put your tube in to connect to the pump. And this, as the collection cup, is going to have two membranes, okay? This is the duckbill that generates suction. This is your backflow protector, like what you'd have in a lot of most pumps right now are having a backflow protector. You need both of those in to generate suction. So plus, for the silicone back, it does have a nice slope to it. It's a 24 millimeter. You could put an insert in there. That tunnel's nice and long and tunnely, so it does have space if you have an elastic nipple to stretch into there. I could see it is going to be a little futzy to connect, but you got to make sure your pieces and parts are all pieces and parting. Otherwise, you will leak out of this, and you will lose all that hard-earned pumped liquid gold. And yes, it really is this futzy to get it on, but let's get that on. So the advantage to this system is you can do a traditional pump, flange, and bottle that you can use compatible to other pieces and parts. or it comes with the cup. So then let's find our tubing. Okay, so here's our tubing. I'll take our tubing out. Okay, so this is a single motor pump divided into 2 breasts. So if you want a stronger motor, you would pump one side at a time. So you would close off the port, and by pumping one side at a time, you'd use one motor for both breasts. So always do be cautious with these little pumps that have one tube divided into 2. Baby Buddha's like that, right? Because you're dividing one motor into 2 breasts. So this is a single motor divided into 2. And just for giggles, we're going to put one in the cup and one in the pump. Now, the disadvantage of this is, look at that tubing, right? You could hack this to another pump. You could pull this tubing off of the connector adapter and put this setup, cups or bottles, with another pump. Oh, see, look at that. This thing is so futzy. It didn't actually, I snapped it on and it didn't actually snap all the way on. Okay, so there's your pump and your cup both connected. So now when we turn this little pump on and put play, that's your power button. It's a quiet little pump. If I'm just talking at a normal level, you can't even hear that over me talking. But listen to that length. Okay, so this, they say there are 4 pump modes. What it really means is there's 2 modes, and each of those modes have 2 speeds. In those 2 speeds, they have 9 suction levels. It does have a maximum of 280 millimeters of mercury, but here's my problem with this pump. This currently is at the, they have 2 modes. So they've got a drop mode, and they've got, they have a stimulation mode and an expression mode. So a little bit quicker and then a little bit slower. Right now, as you can hear, this is in the little bit quicker mode at a level 9. Okay, it is slow. This does not have good cycle speed. So this is considered their low L. So I'm going to put it on, with this pump, if you hold this button down, it's going to switch to the faster mode. So this turns it on, this middle one turns it on and gets it started and playing. This button switches between the modes, and holding the button switches the speed. And then these little plus minus are for your vacuum, for how hard it goes. So I now have it in the highest speed at the highest suction level. That's still really slow. So if I go all the way down, this is really light and still pretty slow. This could work decent for some, but this pump, I'm telling you, cycles too slow. And what I don't like is when you switch between these modes. Okay, so here's your stimulation mode. That's on a high. We're going to put it on low. It's like a little cricket. I'm curious to see what the suction capacity is actually going to be. So I'm going to use my pressure manometer at this lowest level and see where our suction is. So this is light and slow. It's 50 millimeters of mercury. That's not going to give anything for suction to actually move milk for most people. So if you're on a light stimulation mode, we'll take it up a little higher. So we'll crank it up. There's a little better, but listen to that. Look at how slow that's pumping. Okay, really slow. It's a gentle pump. This is a gentle little cricket of a pump. Okay, so it gives you some pretty decent suction in this stimulation mode. Let me switch it to the high mode and see what it does. Little bit faster. That's not bad. Honestly, that's not too bad for an expression mode. Okay, my concern is when we switch over into the other mode. That's gonna hurt your nipple. Okay, so that's a, look at how strong that is. Holy moly. It does hit 280. Look at that. It's 280. Look at that nice strong suck. Babies don't suck that hard. Okay, so let's take the level down. little bit better. So you're getting a decent suction strength, but look at how slow this is pumping. Most human babies do not suck this slow. Okay, so let's put it over into that high mode. A little bit better, okay? So we're getting a little bit faster pump. Now again, if we want it harder but longer, okay? So let's take it down. Let's go a little lighter. That's decent, but it's really slow. So this is one of those pumps. Can you see how that's sucking? Okay, so this is one of those pumps that if you happen to miraculously find the 2 settings on here that stimulate your letdown and let you empty milk, this is going to be a great pump for you. It's going to be a smaller percentage of people that are going to be able to actually use this pump and see milk move efficiently, because in my opinion, this cycle's too slow for what most people need in order to move milk. So this pump, yes, it has pretty decent suck strength, but I don't like that the suck strength and the speed are combined together. We really need to have pumps where you can do them faster and stronger, or faster and lighter, and slower and lighter, and slower and stronger. So this pump is kind of in my same range as the Medela pump in style with MaxFlow. Better than the Medela because it does have more options for different speeds. This would not be my go-to pump for most people because this is a Goldilocks pump. It has to be like just right for the just right person, just right body. So even though it has some pretty decent specs on it, my concern is if you need to suck faster, because babies do cycle faster than this, that this pump isn't going to work for anybody or everybody. So again, this pump has some perks to it, okay? It's small, it's very quiet, so it's discreet. It has the cup and the flange option. The settings on it, though, unfortunately, are not going to be the best for the majority of people out there. I am going to send this home with a patient today and see how they respond to this. If you need a gentler suction, if you need a really quiet pump, if you need something discreet, and your body triggers letdown very easily to any pump, this could be an option for you. Not my go-to for everybody, but that's the Lancino Thrive 2-in-1. Now you know.